the first streaming thing of for this week, and that is Aftermath. Now, this is a film. I guess we can just about call it a film that that not. And I like to point out here before Holly goes off that we did not allocate this film for Holly to see. Holly decided to see this of her own accord so she could have something to talk about on the podcast. So we didn't say, Holly, that would be a good film to see. But judging by what she wrote to us on the WhatsApp group, it was not that nice an experience. Would you say that, Holly?
That is correct.
Okay, so if you can be bothered to relive it, tell us what this film's about.
So, it was made in 2021. It stars Ashley Greene, whom I only know of from Twilight prior to this. After seeing this, I actually went and watched Twilight again to make myself feel better, which gives you a real understanding.
Dear.
And Shawn Ashmore, who I recognise but couldn't identify and have checked, is Iceman in...
he's one of the X-Men.
And Lamplighter in The Boys.
Yes, he also has a twin brother, Aaron Ashmore that you could not tell apart from him.
That could add to some of my vast confusion. I've also discovered that there are on IMDb 7 films called Aftermath, so it's not a niche title. This one begins with Shawn Ashmore working in clearing up a house after some sort of murder. He appears to be in some sort of house cleaning crew thing where they go and make things better. Something it's slightly mystifying, doesn't entirely make sense. It then becomes apparent that he is married to Ashley Greene, who is a budding fashion designer, and that's all very lovely, but their relationship is clearly somewhat strained. I know who would have thought. It turns out that she had an affair and he's struggling to get over it, and they're seeing a marriage therapist, and it's all very, very exciting. And suddenly, the marriage therapist says, maybe you need like a change of scene. And so, for reasons I don't entirely understand, Shawn Ashmore asks the sister of the deceased owner of the house he's just been cleaning out if they could buy it at a knockdown price. I don't know where anybody's logic would have been to get there, but that's what he did. And Ashley Greene says, oh, no, this all seems dreadful. No, we can't be buying the houses where people have been murdered. That's awful. And then with some sort of, throwing arms in the air, it turns out his brother had killed himself, and that's why she'd gone off and had an affair, because he wasn't present in the marriage and he'd quit college. So she says she'll do this on the basis that he will go back to college as well. And so suddenly they're buying this very, very fancy house where there's been a murder-suicide.
Okay, at the moment, the phrase "pick a story" comes to mind.
Yes, it does. Yes. Yeah, it's completely illogical. So they buy at a discounted rate this very, very fancy, very digitally controlled house, which somehow very likely gets woven into the story, but not in a logical fashion. The house was designed by the dead woman. It's really this incoherent. And things start to happen, and temperature sensors change, and something happens to the dog, and the
haunted electric house. Ta-da!
Hello, the house is electric, and things are happening, and what's going on? It's all very suspect. Bad things seem to be happening. Is she losing her mind? Why does nobody believe her? Why is it that somebody show up at the door responding to a white supremacist ad? So many questions, many of which are never entirely answered. You get to the end of the film, there is a twist. Unsurprisingly, it's not the twist I expected. The other twist is also not the twist I'd expected, but that's because they're really stupid. Extremely, extremely stupid twists. There's no point to them. You get to the end, I don't understand how you got to this. I don't see that there's any logic that led to this outcome. I have massively wasted my time, but it was more fun than doing the work I should probably be doing at the same time.
So, I somewhat dread to ask, how many stars would you give it?
If I could give it less than 1, I would do so. And this is even, knowing my periodic desire to give high star ratings to things that I find joyous, albeit bad. This is neither joyous nor good. It's not the worst acting I've ever seen, but it is.
It is close.
Don't do it. Feel grateful that it's now something you can officially put on your. I must never ever watch this list.
All right, cool. So that is 1 star, 1 star for Aftermath. And I have to say, when you shared it on our WhatsApp group, you shared the sort of IMDb listing and the thumbnail for this film came up, and immediately I was kind of like, that thumbnail tells you everything you need to know about this film. It looked it looked like, because that thumbnail, it looked like 11 p.m. on Channel 5 on a weekday kind of thing, kind of vibe. Those sort of films where you're like, who keeps making these things? Why does Channel 5 keep buying these things?
At one time, it was straight to DVD.
Yes.
Or straight to video.
Yes.
And you might have come across it on a Friday night when you're clicking through the video boxes to find something to watch. And I think we used to call them Medusa films, because there was a very cheap studio that made a certain type of film. And then you'd buy a film because it looked promising. And as soon as you saw the Medusa thing, we'd go, oh no.
Oh no, we've been had.
We've been fooled by the box. And you knew it was going to be complete tat.
For some reason, I was having my head there having been a Medusa thing to do with this, even though it's clearly unrelated. I have some sort of vague recollection of the opening credit things having had a sort of Grecian.
Okay, cool.
No, Medusa lives.
Well, thankfully, but Sharon, thankfully, the thing is that now that it is all streaming, and you don't actually have to go down to somewhere and spend your money to rent a video thing and then walk all the way back home. You can watch the first 10 seconds, know it, and then go, nope, not for me, and leg it. Yeah. All right, cool.
But sometimes, if you have to have a film to review, you just think, I've got to review something this week. I'm gonna sit here for the hour and a half. I'm gonna do this for my craft.
Okay, so I was thinking, because we didn't have that much in cinema, I was thinking that Netflix might win. But with that one to Aftermath, cinema might have a chance this week. Cinema might just have a chance.